Hello and welcome back to game number 2 of day number 1 of the StarLadder Star Series Season 8. We have got ourselves NEXT.kz, or Next League, playing from the dire side, and they will be going up against Poseidon, who has got the Radiant side for this game. I am not alone. I actually have Statsman. Skim Gaming is in that slot, and you won't see him, but you'll see what he does. And of course the person that you will hear is my co-caster, Capitalist. Welcome back.
Happy Doodle Day, Shiver.
Oh my god, Noodle Day. Oh, Noodle. I actually thought you said Doodle Day. It's like, wow, that's weird. But Noodle Day. It was Noodle Day because I ate noodles. So I guess that's the that determines the name of the day.
So you had a happy Noodle Day. Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It was very nice. Anything else to add?
No. I'm in a very trolly happy mood today.
It's good.
So expect random bullshit to come out of my mouth.
It's a good day though. I mean, it is StarLadder day 1 with a lot of teams that we haven't seen play in a while, and that just makes it all the more exciting for me. I mean, of course everybody likes to see all the Giants play, but this is a good day for giving them some rest and giving us action with the Russian matchups that we have. Even though, can we really call this a Russian matchup? Because, I mean, Kazakhstan is not really Russia.
No, but you can call it. I don't know. What does CIS really apply to?
The Commonwealth States, Commonwealth Independent States, something like that, or the Commonwealth of Independence, or something like that. But I'm not sure if Kazakhstan kind of belongs to that actually. So I'm not sure. You know which hero I'm actually missing in this one? In the first couple of battles and drafts?
Kazakhstan. Haha.
It is in there? It is in CIS? Skype?
10 seconds remaining.
Are you pretending that Skype is down?
Shiver, come back.
Ah, there you are. Thank you for coming back. And Lich was the one that I was gonna say. Yay. Sorry people, Skype is a bit messed up today, so you might have some delays in hearing Capitalist.
But I was right. Kazakhstan.
Okay.
It's in there.
Well, then it's still CIS Dota, which is what we want. We also want Bristlebacks because that's going to be entertaining. I actually saw Bristleback, I think it was Friday. That was in an aggressive tri lane. And that just started running through tier 1 towers. And even though normally I would say like, why would you do that? He made it work, and it was a pretty ballsy Bristleback. I'm hoping to see the same thing again, but aggressive tri lane with the Lich is not really common. But Lich can be on a dual lane with the Bristleback, or Bristleback can take on the farming role. Either could be okay. Still also have the Venomancer and the Crystal Maiden in the pool. NEXT.kz though, they picked up the Visage first, so I would expect a support with that has a disable like Crystal Maiden. So Venomancer maybe completely ignored this game, even though Venomancer and Bristleback, I normally like their synergy with the slows and all that, but if you do that, then they don't have any disables either, because Lich of course only has slows as well.
Yes. NEXT.kz is going to be able to pick up Timbersaw, which is a really, really good counter to Bristleback. Granted, Timbersaw low on armor, so especially early on, so Bristleback can actually do a large share of damage, but for the most part, Timbersaw is going to be a great hero versus Bristleback. He's got really good escape mechanism and Chamber Chain, and Whirling Death is incredibly good versus Bristleback. Pure damage, stat reduction, what more could you really ask for?
4-second stuns on CK always.
Well, I guess you could ask that, but something tells me that would make Timbersaw overpowered.
Yeah. Well, who knows? Who knows? I mean, overall, I mean, the bans are pretty standard. The Abandoned ban maybe not so standard. Bounty Hunter neither, but still a hero that has been picked up by NEXT.kz in the previous season a lot with great success. So Clockwork, Bounty, Pugna, and the Abandoned removed, and the Elder Titan now removed as well. So that's going to be getting more into the standard bans. I mean, I feel like we're seeing a lot of the same kind of bans lately, or a lot of the same kind of picks rather. Bans might be still varying, but picks are, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for some spectacular new today. I'm really hoping that, because normally these games are they're all best out of ones, and best out of ones are the best kind of games if you want to see weird funky stuff and actually make that weird funky stuff work. So I'm really hoping that we can see something like that. Looks like Poseidon was perhaps expecting a bit of a minus armor strat, so they remove the StarLadder. With the Mirana removed from the pool by NEXT.kz, afraid of those arrows. Poseidon, one more ban, and then they can go back to the picks. If it was one hero that you could choose to see today, like which hero, and you know, you have to be slightly realistic, which hero would you really like to see today?
Oh god, you're gonna put me on the spot, just like I did with BDiz earlier. And he was like, God damn it, you keep doing that when we don't have a really accessible library of heroes. Like, I need to be able to see.
Hey, you know you're a co-caster, so nobody sees your screen anymore right now.
I know,
and you
but
can actually
now,
go to the library.
I know, but it takes steps and it's not loading right now.
Are you clicking? I was saying.
I'm like refreshing. Work, damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna delay that by saying that I'm really glad to see StarLadder is kind of making his way into the meta. Like, he's not really that viable, I think, most of the time, but I think that the slow, steady buffs that he's been getting actually makes him a pretty strong, viable hero, especially with the sprint having such a small amount of downtime. And what I mean by that is the cooldown and the duration are practically the same. You've got, I think, 4 or 5 seconds of downtime between you running out of sprint and sprint being off cooldown again. That actually makes him really, really powerful. If you can just get your basic amount of farm very, very early on, you can just run train all over everybody and just dive towers left and right. Really, really powerful. But heroes that I really want to see today, Earthshaker. Always fall back on Earthshaker.
I agree, especially after last night's line of Earthshakers.
Excuse me, I meant Crit Shaker. Difference.
He can make such big plays, and I mean, yesterday's games were just proof of that. He's a very enjoyable hero. By the way, you were talking about diving things and stuff. Venomancer might be allowing Bristleback to dive a bit more. If you have got that poison on there, Bristleback can just run in and everybody is slowed. I did mention Venomancer as a potential for Poseidon, and then I said probably not because I need a disable, but apparently they did favor that synergy more than having a disable, and they'll go for just a silence on the puck so far, in terms of any real disables. On the other side, NEXT.kz only has got one disable as well. I mean, I'm not really counting the familiar disables right now, but I'm talking about the Vortex of the Storm Spirit that they've picked up. So that's going to be theirs, and of course a puck against the Storm Spirit slightly favors the puck purely because of the built-in silence. So we're going to see Orchid probably up on the Storm if he can make it there.
Yeah, the puck pickup is a really strong, good counter to Storm Spirit. Also exceptionally strong versus Timbersaw, and something that we see a lot in the CIS scene, but unfortunately, both the supports are picked up from Poseidon, but Silencer would actually be an exceptionally strong hero for Poseidon to have right now. Just looking at NEXT.kz's their lineup, support Silencer is actually amazingly strong, especially against both Timbersaw and Storm Spirit. But unfortunately, all they really have left is their safe laner, presumably. I mean, I really think you should be going Bristleback in the aggressive tri lane. I don't think he's a hero. He's much like Juggernaut in the fact that he is more of a semi-carry. If he's a carry at all, he's kind of weak. He focuses too much on the mid-game. There's not enough span of time where he really dominates the game hard enough for him to be a true carry in my mind. So he doesn't utilize safe lane farm very well in my mind. That being said, he has gotten a lot of buffs that make him exceptionally strong in the mid game, and his physical damage is actually huge. I mean, even going late, being able to have 7 stacks of Warpath, that's a huge amount of damage, extra damage that you get just from your ultimate. So, I don't know, maybe Poseidon will be able to make it work for them, but my presumption is we still need to see a safe laner, some other carry for them to be able to fall back on, since Puck falls off late game as well, and they don't really have enough push, in my mind, to guarantee them an early game. I think they need an additional carry to be able to pick up.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of heroes in the pool that have been going on solo off lanes. I mean, even Anti-Mage has been doing that. But of course, the ones that we see more often are Klinks, Weaver, Lone Druid. Those kind of heroes are the ones that you often see on a solo lane, be that safe or not. In this case, should be on the safe lane. They should also be wary that they will be going up against a Timbersaw, and that's not going to be the easiest for any kind of safe lane. So we'll see who will take on that duty as Poseidon goes for their bonus time. They still had quite a bit left. And oh, Necrophos! I said it right, but Necrophos gets picked up. This is one of the more annoying lineups that you can think of. if Necrophos gets good farm and he gets a mech up on a safe lane bottom, I mean, if Poseidon's top lane, aggressive tri lane, doesn't work out, they're gonna be in some trouble. But if their lineup, if their first 10 minutes are okay, they don't even need to be spectacularly good, they just need to be okay, then they can group up as 5 and just march down mid, and I don't think that there's anything that can stop them. Maybe the Timber Saw if he's fed
5
enough.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, oh man, Necrophos. I mean, at least we don't see enough Necrolite that it should be an easier change. But Necrophos, okay. Interesting idea. Good versus Lifestealer and Timber Saw in some respects, but also can really get shut down by Storm Spirit and Timber Saw at the same time. Like if Storm Spirit is able to pick up an early Orchid, and a lot of this is going to be on Puck. His Puck is going to, like, often mid laners, like the big playmakers of the game, but this game is exceptionally important for Puck, because if he's able to keep Storm Spirit down, Necrophos has a chance to be able to actually be really, really effective farming up. But if Storm Spirit is able to pick up an early Orchid, if he isn't shut down by the Puck, Storm Spirit is going to wreck this Necrophos. So a lot of this game is on Jotum and his performance in middle, and also once he picks up his Blink Dagger, if he's able to get some ganks on the Storm Spirit. But other than that, I think the strategy is decent. I mean, it's an interesting idea. Unfortunately, he's going to be running up against an aggressive tri-lane net of NEXT.kz, because they know they need to shut down this Necrolite. Necrolite is really, really bad in the laning phase. Like, he's a terrible support. As a carry, he's pretty awful too. As some sort of farmer, you need him solo in order for him to be effective, in my mind. And very, very easy to kill. So if they're able to run an aggressive tri-lane, wherever he moves, you're probably going to see, if he moves, for example, if Necrophos goes bottom, sees in a tri-lane, and he goes to top to go up against the Timber Saw, you'll probably actually see dual lanes possibly come out of NEXT.kz, because that's how important. If they can shut down the Necrolite, they have this game in the bag, in my mind. They have enough with Timber Saw to be able to make this game go late. He's an exceptionally good turtler at being able to just spam out spells to keep heroes away from doing damage to those towers. And they can just push this game late, where Lifestealer, Storm Spirit, and Timber Saw are all going to destroy Bristleback eventually.
Yeah, and I also love the reactive pickup from NEXT.kz just against that Necrophos. Like, if there is indeed that, like, if they do okay in the early game, and there is that group up, and they do start pushing, if an Ancient Apparition Ult lands on all of them, that Necrolite's not going to be doing that much. He can't spam out his Q. They have to wait until that Ice Blast is over, and in that time NEXT.kz could have already taken control of the fight and could have already forced them back. So yeah, it's the laning stage is going to be really important in this game. Well, let's take a look at who is playing what, as we have got Reeves playing the Ancient Apparition. He has indeed moved towards the bottom lane to have a bit of an aggressive trial lane, but mostly to dodge the aggressive trial lane of Poseidon. Mantis will take on the Lifestealer. Amazing will be on the Visage, and that will be our trial lane right now. By the way, of course, the combination of Ancient Apparition and also the Lifestealer gives a nice setup for Cold Feet to actually proc. With Open Wounds and Cold Feet, the stun will proc. So that's great to see. And of course, the slow from Amazing will be allowing for the Open Wounds, as Lifestealer can get enraged with that one. So that's already a bit of a good synergy there. Wadafaka will take on the mid role as a Storm Spirit, and then last but not least, it is equal. This time on the Timber Saw, this time on the top lane, and he'll be by himself for the moment.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Which team am I?
You're introducing Poseidon.
All right. On Poseidon, we got KSI is going to be on the Venomancer, Illidan on the Necrophos, which I believe is how you pronounce that, actually, because I think it's the same pronunciation as Phosphorus.
Yeah, I think so too. Necrophos.
Yeah.
Yep.
Solo is going to be on the Bristleback. Jotum is going to be on the Puck, and Tenchi is on the Lich.
Yeah, we actually got a bit of a dual lane mid for now. They realized the importance of shutting that storm down. So perhaps that's why their Venomancer is around there, even though he could have just been there to ward. But yeah, this mid lane, a lot of pressure goes out to both of these for their team to just get ahead. And at the same time, the supports on the top lane are no longer there. The rotation has already been done. They already scouted it out. So we already saw Illidan moving top, leaving on bottom lane Solo to farm there on the safe lane. And of course, his lane should, in theory, be in around his tower all the time, because of the That's actually a level 1 Poison Sting picks up by KSI. Interesting. But because of the sacrifice is what I wanted to say, of course. Lich can sacrifice all the time, making sure that that lane is close to his tower and therefore favorable for Poseidon.
Yeah, and I mean, KSI is going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Timbersaw. They know how important it is to get Necrophos, at least in the first couple of levels, some good farm. And really, what can you do against a Bristleback when you've got Lich continually pulling the lane back? And if you actually look, Solo, he didn't choose a level. He didn't level up anything early on. Normally, you're just like, oh, you automatically go Quill Spray. But Solo knew the importance of potentially needing that 16% reduction at level 1 from Bristleback. Because Lich obviously is going to do nothing but pull the lane back as much as possible for him. So this aggressive tri-lane, like, they really need to make something happen, or else they need to rotate a support up to top to help out the Timbersaw and shut down the Necrophos.
I am just so sad for Equal at this point. I mean, boots or not, he is not going to run away from a Venomancer, even though he doesn't have a Gale. But that Poison Sting in combination with the Orb of Venom, Equal he is struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the more annoying heroes to be facing that early in the lane. I mean, he's lucky to get level 2.
15% slow at level 1 is pretty ridiculous.
That's an interesting stat, by the way. I mean, that also goes to show that these two teams haven't really played that much in 6.79 just yet. And I believe that is also the case. But Batrider, not banned nor picked, just ignored. Of course, it was picked up by NEXT.kz in the previous game. So did you?
Wow, look at this. Tenchi has went ahead, and this is how important defense is for this lane. Lich is actually picking up 2nd level Ice Armor.
Do you think that's a bit of remnants from yesterday's games?
Possibly.
Just, relive the importance of armor?
Is under attack.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it's a lane that Bristleback, like, if you actually think about it, Frost Blast is not going to be effective. It's not a very useful control ability to be able to keep heroes when they try and go on Bristleback, to keep them slow. You might as well just have Ice Armor, which affects range heroes. So if everybody's going to be targeting him, it makes sense to be able to pick up early Ice Armor. Now, whether or not he fully commits to that build or not is questionable. I think only 1 level is really needed for this lane, but we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Equal once again forced out. He did get 3 extra last hits since the last time we saw him though, so he's getting something, but he's not getting as many as Illidan is getting. Illidan is sitting on 22 to 10. And wait a second, on the middle lane, Wadafaka got an Invis rune. The rune will spawn at 4 minutes. The vortex is there. Will it be? No, it will be bottom, so they're both wrong, but maybe Jotum, no, he's able to jump himself away. The regen rune will get guarded or picked up by the supports. Actually, it will get guarded as they will smoke up.
This is really smart. Like, NEXT.kz, they need Storm Spirit to get really big, so them being able to ensure rune control for him is really, really important, especially since they're losing top, and in my mind, they're losing bottom as well. Timbersaw may actually go down here.
Yeah,
like, he has 2 levels of reactive armor, but yeah, he's going to go down.
Yeah, there's going to be the death pulse also coming out from Illidan. That should kick him off. There we go. That's your first blood right there. The supports of NEXT.kz were at the same time rotating, but couldn't get anything on the puck. Continued rotating top, and will be there to keep an eye out for Equal. And that means that Solo is now going to be having a good time bottom, getting a lot more farm than he did before. And I think that with the start that Illidan got right now, it's not even too bad that the supports come rotating. I think this is, for Poseidon, a very good scenario to be in at the moment. Depending on how their mid lane continues to go, because that still has a big impact on the rest of the game.
Well, right now, Jotum has finally been able to pick up level 6, so he now has his ultimate. Expect him at level 7, maybe to pick up a 2nd level of Waning Rift. And they'll actually have kill potential versus Wadafaka. They just need rotation over from Venomancer. Unfortunately, if he leaves that, then it means Illidan pretty much has to abandon the lane. Like, he can sit by his tower maybe, but he's not a high enough level. Even with treads, he's not a high enough level. He doesn't have enough stats to be able to survive this tri-lane gank. And he may go down right now, actually.
They're actually going to try. Nope, in comes... Oh,
nice
that's going to
kill.
be that kill already. Reaper Scythe going through. Maybe Xi is still going to get picked up, but in comes Jotum. Dream Coil on 2. Illidan comes back. He's got a Death Pulse at the ready as well. The Orb will pick up the Visage, and Equal tries to run. I'm not sure how long he can keep that up, though, because he will get picked up. And it is 3 dead here on the top lane. That is just complete massacre, and brilliant awareness for Poseidon. That puck being there at exactly the right time. The movement was perfect. They baited NEXT.kz into trying to go for a gank.
Is under attack.
I like it. Poseidon, very strong.
Yeah, exceptionally well played, and especially the play by Illidan to throw the Reaper Scythe out so early. It means they can't target Necrophos at all because of Sadist. I mean, basically getting 10 health a second this early on is huge, plus the death pulse that he's going to be able to spam out. It makes him nigh unkillable this early on. So being able to ensure himself that really, really early kill basically makes it so they have to target the Venomancer. That was the only possible thing that they could kill there. And with Puck being there, it just gets completely upset. So really well done by Poseidon. Their rotation so far have been really good. Again, I just worry about the Storm Spirit. He now has a haste rune in his bottle. If he can pick up that Orchid, the early game may be going the way of Poseidon. They'll have an early lead, but Storm Spirit is powerful enough and he's good enough counter to all these heroes. It doesn't matter if they're getting farm. He'll still be able to shut them down potentially.
True, and another rotation coming in, by the way. Illidan moved bottom because Equal moved bottom. Mantis will probably start to rotate top, perhaps. No, what a fucker first. He goes for solo, decides to go for Venomancer instead. It should be able to pick up that kill. It will take a lot of harassment before he goes down, and actually, perhaps Solo can make something happen. Never mind, Solo goes down as well. Storm Spirit gets 1 kill. In comes a Dream Coil on 2. Puck, 1 kill, looking for more. I think he can get amazing as well. 1 more hit, that's a double kill right there. Looking for a triple. Does he have another orb? Yes, he does. That should be yeah, that's a triple kill right there. That's gonna be the difference in the 2 mid laners, with Puck now having 4, 0, 1, and Storm only the 1 to 1 to 1. That's a big difference right there, and that sets the pace of the game for this Puck.
That was huge. I mean, that was the first big rotation by Storm Spirit, and have him get shut down like that was beautiful. But I have to say, that was an absolutely exceptionally wonderful play by Whatafaka, where he turned around, as Bristleback started to walk away, Whatafaka took that opportunity to electric vortex him and pull him behind the Storm Spirit, so Storm Spirit was able to body block him. Bristleback couldn't actually go anywhere. He kept him there for extra long just because he was able to body block him and stick around a little bit. Unfortunately, good rotation by Puck ends up winning the fight, but
rotations, yep, and there goes the Lich. The infested Lifestealer was there in the Storm Spirit. Illidan gets away though, but they actually try to go up on the Storm. He's low on mana, but he does have full bottle. Oh, Reaper Scythe, that might be enough! It's not enough! Still taking the poison though, but with those bottle charges, he's stupid living unless Illidan is looking for more blood. Couple more hits needed. Illidan not overextending just yet. In comes Solo though. The Quills, it gets the Storm Spirit. Solo will give his life for that one, but it's a worthy trade, I think. Shutting that Storm Spirit down, as you have been saying, he is the one to get the game going for NEXT.kz, and so shutting him down is worth losing your Bristleback. Wow, Spirit Breaker? Nope. Bristleback. Oh, Dream Coil, amazing. In some trouble, will get picked off. Lich in the end with a kill. Equal can only stand by and do nothing. That Ice Blast though will kill off the Lich. He will shatter in just a moment. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, the A ult is up now, so that's going to be a big factor in these Storm Spirit ganks. If they can coordinate that, they'll pretty much insta-pop a hero before the disable's even down from Storm Spirit. They should go down. So even if Necrophos is getting some good farm in, and he's got a 4-staff, which is huge, he won't be able to utilize that Death Pulse. He really just needs stats right now. So most of the time, he's going to have to walk around with power treads. Otherwise, he's going to pop. He won't be able to rely on his heal, and some of his allies may not be able to too if in some of these team fights. So they're definitely going to need to pick up some stats so they can survive the Storm Spirit ganks. As you can see, here comes bottom. Illidan instantly dead.
That combination, you were exactly right. It happened. Perfectly executed. Whatafaka gets himself a rotation with a kill that doesn't lead into his death, which is something that he'll be happy about. Mantis, by the way, has continued farming on top. So far, I mean, he has not died yet. He's got 1 kill, 1 assist, and in terms of net worth, he's not looking bad at all, but I'm still kind of worried for him because he still isn't farming as fast as I think he should be. Man, he might actually go down. A couple more quills would be needed. Mantis running the quills, physical damage. No creeps, they're running away! Oh my god! They chased him down! Though, oh my god. Was it actually done by the Venomancer, or did Lifestealer do that by himself?
No, that was Bristleback. His Quill Spray hit the neutrals, and they aggroed to him.
That was crazy. Oh, Illidan looking for a kill and amazing. Let's see. Yeah, in comes the Reaper Scythe. Shouldn't get the kill, but does hold him in place long enough for the Dream Coil to come out. Jotun with the kill. 11 for 7, as we have got Timbersaw in a bit of an awkward position, but he will teleport back to the tier 1 tower. With actually Mantis just teleporting back to the tier 1 top. He gets scaled. He has to be so careful. He can still infest, and he'll need to. Agent Separation ulti will fly out, will still hit solo. He will go down for it, and Mantis might be able to eat himself back up to full with these heroes here. Never mind. He goes down. Solo, not yet dying, is able to pick up a kill, and oh my god, is he dying? No, he's not. The salve ticks just in time. Motherfucker should be able to get the kill, though. The Vortex, the Soul Assumption, Storm Spirit with a double kill. Of course, Venomancer was there to drop as well, but they get the Life Stealer, which is definitely, once again, a nice thing to get. If it's worth it, not exactly sure this time, as Motherfucker did get a double kill. And he is getting one step closer to his Orchid, which he is indeed building towards.
Yeah, and it just goes to show you how powerful heroes that really focus early on physical, like typically physical damage early on is much. Weaver, Bristleback, those sort of. But physical damage is still exceptionally powerful against certain heroes. Lifestealer's a great example of that. He has one of the lowest strength gains. He's really not that tanky. Everyone just assumes he is because he has Rage to be able to fall back on Magic Immunity. He has Feast, which is, obviously that gives him a lot of health in a lot of these extra team fights. And Infest really increases his he can just push out and be really aggressive and still be very safe. But when you get physical damage, get heroes like Weaver, you get heroes like Bristleback, it shows how Lifestealer can actually be really squishy when he's unable to target heroes, when he's getting minus armor on him and he's being dealt a lot of physical damage. He can go down actually very quickly, and he can't even stand up against you know, any of these heroes, really. Like, it's only the squishy heroes, the support heroes, that Lifestealer can potentially go on. Everyone else, if they're on the same health, same page, they'll be able to take down Lifestealer, and that's not going to change for quite some time. He's really far behind in farm right now.
Yeah, and he's actually still considering to go, or he has got his Midas actually ready. So, it is a 14-minute Midas, or 13.5-minute Midas, and not the fastest, for sure, but perhaps with that he can get back, as I just missed a gank. That wasn't an Infest Storm Stealer gank. It was a Mantis able to get himself a kill with help of Motherfucker, or at least Motherfucker took the gold from it. A kill that they really needed as well, because it was one on the puck, and that was the first time the puck actually dropped.
Yeah, and it was with the AA ult as well, so that's on cooldown for a little bit. But again, they can pop anybody they want to. Poseidon, they need some really aggressive map control to be able to see where the Storm Spirit is moving himself to, because Storm Spirit is the big key to all of this. It's how NEXT.kz is going to be able to stay in the game. If, again, all they have to do is just delay this game until, even if Poseidon is ahead and they've shut down the Timbersaw, eventually Timbersaw is going to get back into the game. Lifestealer is going to get back into the game. He has a Mighties. He has that ability to get in a large amount of farm in a small amount of time. It's all going to be on Whatafaka and what space he can create for those two heroes in order to get them strong into the mid game, where we're going to have all of these team fights happening.
Yeah, and for when those fights are happening, Illidan has already got his mechanism ready in about 100 gold, so that will be a big help to them. While NEXT.kz, they don't really have a strong mechanism builder, so perhaps Visage is going to make that, but it looks more to me like he's going to be making that into a medallion, so we'll see if that's the one that he wants to have. Because those mechs, I mean, they're going to make a difference for sure. There's already so much sustainability up on Poseidon, and you can't really count on an AA ult on every 5 of the heroes of Poseidon every single time, so I'm interested to see how fast NEXT.kz gets themselves a mechanism on their team, because they really need one if they're gonna start taking those fights.
Well, I'm not really sure if I agree with this build, but Necrophos, like, this is a typical Necrophos build, but it's not gonna stop this Storm Spirit AA gank whatsoever. Like, now you're just giving yourself more heals, right? That aren't going to be effective.
This time no Lifestealer needed, just the AA ult. And Motherfucker's mana to take him down. To meet them solo is in a lot of trouble. He is also slowed down. Should be going down there. Soul Assumption coming in amazing. Gets some revenge for his earlier death. And of course with the haste rune up on a Timbersaw, there's very little chance of you getting away from that. Even if you are Bristleback.
Yeah, we're beginning to see Timbersaw. I mean, he still needs to be like level 12 before he's really effective versus Bristleback, but he takes the opportunity with the haste rune, may pick up another kill in middle.
Yeah, Venomancer dropping his poison over the Gale. That's gonna be an AA ult dodge. Maybe Reeves still in some trouble. At least he didn't get killed. He still gets the cold feet off. Equal gets him to get himself out though. If there was a puck here, he could have get a double kill, no problem. And actually, Asian Operation. Oh, he pops a selfie. He's okay. I was worried there for a second. In the meantime, bottom indeed. Lich does he want to go down. Mantis gets a Reaper Scythe on his face. Gets picked off. It's a 1-for-1 exchange. Whatafaka should be able to get away just fine though. And Illidan, oh, he's gonna try to go for the regen rune, but Whatafaka gets there first. Doesn't use it, so we'll be okay with that. He has almost got his Orchid ready. Just needs the recipe for it.
And again, the first time that they gank Necrophos without the AA ult, it goes terribly. So they really need to keep that together, because so many heals are going to come out from Illidan.
Yeah, AA ult only hits upon Necrophos this time. The Vortex is up on the puck, who was still around there. Cannot get away, will get picked off. So close to his Blink Dagger, not able to complete it. Good gank coming out from NEXT.kz. They still lose their tower though. This was the first tower to go down in this game, so the first tier 1 tower on the side of NEXT.kz, and they'll lose their solo mid forward, but most importantly, they slow down that Blink Dagger for the puck.
They did, and it's going to be Orchid up soon. Whatafaka is, again, he's doing really, really well. With the way that they tried to shut him down a little bit in middle, he's doing exceptionally well. Now they're going to pick off solo as well. This gank squad just does not stop. I mean, think about it. They had almost a 3,000 gold lead at about 6 minutes in, and NEXT.kz still looks fine. And that's the power of this gank squad of the Ancient Apparition and the Storm Spirit. They drafted really, really well to come back after the laning phase.
Yeah, especially with that Timbersaw being so sturdy, just being able to survive all the harassment. And I mean, the ganks, I really still, again, that Ancient Apparition pickup was perfect. It fits so well up in the lineup of NEXT.kz, and it works so well against Poseidon's Necrophos that I'm starting to get a bit worried for Poseidon. I mean, they looked fine, and they are still doing okay-ish, and they now have, I mean, the second tower goes down, the one in the middle, but at this point, if you have a lineup like this, I feel like Poseidon should be further ahead than they are right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they really should be. But you should see them group up soon. They have some really good teamfight abilities, especially if Necrophos is going to be going for the build he is, picking up the Force Staff, which is fine, but the mech after that, you know, I question it, but it's a really good teamfight item. So if they can just group up a little bit, again, you have the danger of an Ancient Apparition ultimate, but if they're able to dodge that, if they're able to force that out early, or they kill AA before he even gets it off, they have an exceptional teamfight power.
At this point, Timbersaw might look to teleport towards the top lane. Because there is going to be Poseidon trying to make something happen. They're here with all 5 heroes. Familiar is already scouting out that Venomancer and Solo already just walking past the tower. In comes a Dream Coil, amazing, already dead. In comes Whatafaka with the double damage rune as well. But he has to zip himself out, gets galed in the process. Still is able to silence off Jotum, and that's going to be the puck dead. The Reaper Scythe is able to pick up the Lifestealer, so that's Illidan with the kill. It is a 1-for-2 exchange, and it is Poseidon that is on the hunt and looking for more. They will be forced back, though, by that chakram from Equal. They will only take the tower, and actually, they smoke up right next to a Ward Steel, which was only just placed, but I don't think it saw that smoke. But it will. NEXT.kz is already going to be very, very careful. We'll see if Poseidon can find something to do in this one.
Yeah, I mean, these long sustained team fights are going to go the way of Poseidon every single time, so it's really smart that they grouped up as they did. They recognized the issue. NEXT.kz was picking him off too much. The only way NEXT.kz can really fight is jumping in and popping one hero and getting out. Like, they can't actually have these long sustained team fights, because even if they do pop, for example, they pop the Necrophos in the very beginning, which is getting harder since he has an ultimate orb. But if they pop him in the beginning with the Storm Spirit, Lifestealer, AA combo, they just have to walk away, because even the supports are looking very, very strong, and they're both really good for team fights. Venomancer with his level 2 Nova, and Lich with Chain Frost. They're all really strong.
That is dead. Another gank coming in with Reeves' ulti, Whatafaka to follow up together with Equal. There's not that many heroes that can actually live through that, apart from that Necrophos at this point. And even he will have trouble, even with that ultimate orb, I think. That was the
they
first
see the
tower
deny.
still. Yeah.
They saw the deny. They should be going for this. They see an opportunity.
They are. Chakram comes in first. Illidan looks to be moving into safety. Blink into safety from Jottam as well. Already silenced up, but he will be able to cast spells again. Goes for the Dream Coil. Equal can't latch himself to a tree, or at least he did, but the tree was standing right next to him, so that didn't really bring him far. It is only one kill going the way of Poseidon. That's going to be not the kind of fight that NEXT.kz was hoping for.
Yeah, and they're really, that's on Whatafaka. Like, he's playing really, really well this game, so I don't mind calling out one of his few mistakes, which is he didn't go on the immediate heroes that were right there. Necrophos is a high priority target that he should have been able to jump on, and instead he went for the puck, and he over jumped. Like, he went way too far, and that's a really bad thing to do with Storm Spirit. It's why you see Storm Spirits often do smaller jumps, and if they have to go farther, it's because if you overjump the target, if you think that he's going to go one way and he actually goes the other, and you go 600 range past that hero, you burn way too much of your mana, and you aren't able to continue to chase, because at that point, Whatafaka had burned through 2/3 of his mana and blown Orchid as well.
Yeah, it looks like Whatafaka is trying to snipe. Oh, he just realized, or he showed himself. He goes for KZ. Aeod comes in. Venom already dead. Solo, very low. Should be able to stay alive, though. Everybody tries to get himself out of there. Tries to TP. Lich still throws out his ulti and actually is able to kill off the Storm with that. But Illidan, he'll get picked off as well. It is a 2-for-1 buyback for the Necrophos. They don't want to give up that Roshan, which is almost dead. Bashes up on Mantis is actually not helping out either. The Dream Coil up on 2 Mantis will not be able to pick up the H because he dies. Reeves picks it up though. And he will be back alive in just a moment because he just got picked up as well. Might still die as well. In comes the Chakram. Equal trying to help him out. KSI taking a bit of a beating. In comes Solo again as well. In comes the Reaper Scythe. AA is the one that is able to make it out alive. He teleported out. The Roshan goes to NEXT.kz. The Aegis goes to NEXT.kz. And even though they ended up with 4 heroes dead, they make sure that Poseidon doesn't have the upper hand with an Aegis to go high ground perhaps in a couple of minutes.
Yeah. Great team fight, great decision making there by Poseidon, knowing that they're the Aegis, but at the very least they knew they were going to get a good team fight.
Yeah, sorry.
We got issues.
Yeah, you're always like, we always hear you afterwards and you still say everything you wanted to say. There's just a bit of a delay when it gets said. It's a bit awkward. But yeah. Well, they don't even get a tower off the back of that. Poseidon, that is. They might have in the end won the fight. And, you know, they did use a buyback for that on both the Lich and, actually, they used 3 buybacks for that. Never mind. Lich and Venomancer and Necrophos use the buyback, and they don't get the Roshan, they don't get a tower.
But they get their necessary items, which is one of the big ones is going to be BKB for Bristleback. Because you've got so much magic damage flying around, he's nigh unkillable. At the very least, if he does go down, he is going to do so much quill damage and a lot of auto attack damage too, if he can just lock on to one hero.
Yeah, so far, I mean, even with the buyback, Necrophos is still sitting highest on net worth, and he's, of course, able to farm very fast with just spamming out his death pulse. He doesn't have to worry too much about mana at this point, having that level 1, or sorry, level 4 rather, is Aegis. So he is looking pretty good indeed. He has been involved in about 14 out of the 21 kills, which is also very decent, as actually, with the sentry ward being placed there, yeah, I was gonna say, they should be trying to counterward that, and perhaps even make the jump on Whatafaka, but Whatafaka gets himself out. Because I'm expecting Poseidon to be trying to make things happen continuously, because as you pointed out, they don't really have the very late game, they just have to continue pushing. And I'm expecting them to do that right now, as they actually first have to defend their top lane, which is getting pushed in. So far, they only lost really 1 tower, the other one got denied, obviously they still lost it, but denies are always great to have. They're still holding on to that tier 1 tower, never mind. They denied that as well. So that's 2 towers denied on the side of Poseidon. A lot of gold denied to NEXT.kz.
Yeah, it's pretty much, like I said, 15 to 25 minutes, like 25 minutes hits, and pretty much the reign of Storm Spirit is over. Like, he can no longer pop a lot of these heroes. There's still potential for them to pick off heroes, but for the most part, Poseidon, they know their biggest strength is for the next probably 10 to 15 minutes. If this game pushes longer than that, you're going to see Lifestealer finally picking up AC and Abyssal, and he's actually going to be a big threat. Timbersaw is going to get harder and harder to kill, and even the Storm Spirit goes into late game decently well. It's not that they don't have decent late game of their own. Necrophos is really good late game. He's an exceptionally good intelligence hero for late game, but they know their strongest period is going to be now. So their chance at winning, they just need to be able to end the game within the next 10 minutes, which should be fairly easy for them as long as they don't get picked off too much, which may happen to the Venomancer. No, he spies him out with a well-placed ward.
Yeah, very good for him, and make sure that Poseidon plays a bit more careful. Smoke gank of NEXT.kz wasted, and on top of that, a lot of farming time being put to waste as well, as Mantis tries to make up for that by clearing out the jungle, but there's only so many camps they can take down with the 5 of them, so we'll have to continue rotating. That's gonna be a Desolator ready for the Lifestealer, so NEXT.kz indeed also starts to get towards their core items. I'm really I am kind of scared for Poseidon, but I would really like to see the Aghanims finished on the Age of Deprivation. I love that item on him. It just makes him so strong. I won't say OP, but very strong, and I'm kind of scared for Poseidon for it, but I would love to see that again here.
Yeah, and this is a really smart thing. Like, Deso isn't unheard of on Lifestealer, but it's the secondary build of most Lifestealers. But in this regards, it is the best option for him. That direct damage on Necrolite, or excuse me, Necrophos, is extremely important. The longer team fights go, the more powerful Necrophos is. So if they can just jump on him and pop him with that direct damage, the Desolator is going to be a huge part of that now. They have a actually pretty good chance of winning the team fight. They just need to be able to do it fast enough. Again, Puck, interesting choice picking up the Yules over going for the later Scythe of Ice, which is what normally Pucks would be going. But I mean, I guess it's pretty strong. I mean, keeping one hero out of the team fight, like Storm Spirit or Timbersaw, are going to be your 2 targets. Not a bad idea to have that immediate effect. They're probably, once they finish up Scythe of Ice on Necrophos, and they've got Aghanims up on Veno, but he needs to be level 16. After that, they'll probably be pushing in. Like, Bristleback isn't I don't think they can really wait for him to pick up an AC. I think they'll probably just try and push off of level 16s and Scythe of Ice.
I agree. And they would also need to get some more boards out on the map before that actually happens, so just to know exactly where NEXT.kz is, because at this moment, right now, Mantis makes a difference in that, but they don't have any vision of anybody on the map apart from now people walking into the Radiant jungle. They do have a ward around there, so they'll see amazing rotating. And, you know, if a Visage is in your jungle, you know that he's not alone, because a Visage support's not going to be doing that by himself. There's your BKB on the Storm Spirit, as well as the Scythe of Ice for the Necrophos, so this could be the chance they need to go in if Venomancer, yeah, he's level 16 as well, was able to get that on the bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I'm kind of worried though, because you normally don't really want to take a fight at this stage in the game where it is, I mean, it's still 3k gold in favor of Poseidon, which is really nothing at this point of the game. Experience graph very even as well. So you normally want to have some kind of way of knowing that you have the advantage. Be that by positioning, by having an Aegis, or some other kind of tricky item that you have and that you can totally dominate your team with. They're going to try to go for a smoke. They're going to use it that way. But if you don't know for certain that you have the advantage, you don't go in. And that's the case for both teams. Right now, Poseidon is going to try to get the advantage with positioning. I'm not sure if they can get it done, though. They have to be so careful.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of their map control while they were trying to finish up their last bit of farm. And so they're using that smoke to kind of regain that and start asserting some control over the map. Because if they give this up too long, NEXT.kz is utilizing this room that Poseidon is giving them really effectively. Lifestealers farming up Storm Spirits. You know, he's been looking for ganks. But Timbersaw as well. Like, he's going to be able to pick up a Scythe of Ice soon, and that's going to be pretty powerful versus a Necrophos. Isn't going BKB, which is something that I assumed he was actually going to go for much earlier over the mech, but when he has that, they'll actually have a pretty decent chance in these team fights. So they need to be able to start asserting control of the map now before NEXT.kz gets what they want on their heroes.
We seem to be at a bit of an impasse. The smoke gank from Poseidon didn't end up working out. No real ganks coming off from NEXT.kz either, who struggle with the same problem as Poseidon has. And you know, on top of that, they don't need to rush. They don't have this kind of pushing lineup that they need to 5-man fight with right now. They can wait it out, let their Lifestealer farm up even more, who is right now, for the first time this game, he has surpassed the Necrophos and has now got highest net worth on the map. Of course, Midas does help toward that bottom lane in the meantime. The silence is up. Venomancer, he will be picked off there. The BKB turn on by Wadafaka does get put in place by the Reaper Scythe. He's now completely out of mana, actually. Perhaps Hilton can still make something happen. There's no stick charges anymore. There's no bottle. In comes the Hex. That's not going to be worth your life, Wadafaka. Not going to be worth it at all. He was waiting in the trees for a long time, by the way, before he made that move. Or for a while, anyways.
Yeah, and it ends up biting me in the ass. Good rotations by Poseidon, and did you see what Venomancer was building towards? This has to be one of the scariest Venomancers. Like, I've seen Venomancers that have been war farmed, but they've gone for like teamfight items, mech and pipe and that sort of thing. But this is purely offense. If he gets off a Veil and an Aghanim's level 3 Poison Nova, that does an amazing amount of damage. Like, for a support hero to be able to have that big of an impact in a team fight is amazing. So their long-term team fight, again, is incredibly good. Like, Necrophos is really, really good at that. Bristleback also excels, and then you've got one of the best supports for long, drawn-out team fights. That damage over time coming out from Poseidon is amazing. So if they just have the sustainability to be able to live through the burst of NEXT.kz, they'll crush team fights every time.
On top of that, I mean, I already pointed this out briefly earlier. There's no real natural mech builder, even though Visage ended up still building it. Was a bit late, but it has it regardless. But there also is no natural pipe builder, which is something that you would like to build up against a Venomancer. And so far, Timbersaw has picked himself up a cloak, but he chose to finish up his Scythe of Ice before anything else. And there's nobody really looking towards picking up that pipe, and that's really the only thing that you can do against that kind of lineup. The only thing that you can do against that kind of Venomancer, and it's just utterly scary. Very scary. And Poseidon, even though they're still very passive, should a teamfight break out, should they have the positioning under control, which is going to be the main deal here for both teams, to have that positioning going for them, well, then their 5-on-5 teamfight is should be real strong, and a lot stronger than that of NEXT.kz. Depending on if Age Separation finishes up his Aghanims as well, because he only needs about 900 gold for that.
Yeah, I'm getting a little antsy here for Poseidon. I don't blame them necessarily. Like, it might not be a bad idea sitting here and farming up some additional items. You're about to pick up AC on Bristleback. That's a really big pickup for them. But at the same time, I really feel that NEXT.kz is going to be is utilizing the golds. Like, it's a much more dramatic change. Like, the AC picked up on Bristleback versus the AC picked up on Lifestealer, and more importantly, I feel the Aghanims that's going to be picked up on Ancient Apparition. AA ult is by far in like the top 5 of Aghanim upgrades. Like, the change to his Ice Blast late game is incredibly strong.
I guess the upside for Poseidon is that they don't have to deal with it in a Roche fight if they fight now. Age Separation not yet has his Aghanims, while Poseidon has theirs, and their item ready. There are Assault Cuirasses, of course, on both teams. There's a Scythe of Ice on both teams, but I think if they have a fight right now, that Age Separation won't have as big of an impact as he otherwise would, and that this might be the right timing. Might be that NEXT.kz is going to jump in first, though. They've got an infested Lifestealer sitting inside the storm, looking for someone to go on. They go for the Venomancer first. They silence him up. And what the fuck? They're already down. Mantis tries to eat his way through Illidan, does get a kill. Equal gets picked up here as well. Lich Ultimate bouncing through. Venomancer now let's go. His ultimate will get picked up straight after, but it doesn't matter. The damage is done. The Lifestealer goes down. Amazing is looking pretty squishy as well, but luckily for him it's not fatal and he won't die from it just yet. Unless Venomancer's placed some wards along the line. Solo will get picked off. That's going to be a team wipe. NEXT.kz has been able to beat Poseidon purely because that poison is not fatal. There is people sitting on very low life because of that Venomancer ulti, but nobody to finish it off. Good silence.
Just think if Necrophos was there with his Heartstopper aura, like he would actually so many different kills. But yeah, I mean, well defended by NEXT.kz. They get a great team fight out of that, and the significant amount of gold. Necrophos, I don't know. He falls so quickly. Like only having 1600 health against an AA ult with a lot of burst damage, both physical and magical. Now with Lifestealer being able to have Deso and AC, like that's actually a lot of burst physical damage when he jumps on you with Rage. I just really don't feel that this build is good enough to go late. Like it's okay if you're going to focus on mid game and ending the game by 30, 35 minutes, or at least having a substantial lead by that point by having it taken a Rax. But going late game, I feel that the mech particularly is just keeping you too squishy for the late game. Like they do have such good burst damage, they're able to kill him almost instantly, and now they get a Roshan as well.
Yeah, well, fucker with the Aegis, which he really needs because he's been the first target to jump in, the first target to get focused also every fight, and they have been losing him quite a bit. But yeah, that Roshan not contested really. They couldn't. If they would have lost that fight, they would have lost way more than just a fight, and they weren't even in position for that. So that's going to be NEXT.kz taking it back. We still have the gold in favor of Poseidon, but the experience graph shows more about how we feel this game is going, and it is indeed dropping in favor of NEXT.kz. Still by very little though, don't get me wrong, just 2,500 experience, but the start is there, and NEXT.kz, from this point onward, I feel like they can only go up. We do have the Aghanims now up on Reeve, so that will be there for the next fight to happen. And if previous fight wasn't enough, I think that silence on the Venomancer definitely made the difference. If that silence wasn't on the Venomancer, the fight would have gone, I think, the way of Poseidon. It should have gone the way of Poseidon that time. So if they can snipe Whatafaka beforehand, they might have a chance. And that's all in the hands of the Puck. That's all in the hands of the initiation as well. If Puck can initiate with the silence up on the Stormer, they can pick him off before he can silence off someone else. Of course, his silence doesn't really stop his Orchid from going off. Perhaps they can hex him right after as well. Blink in, silence, hex, do it all that, and well, then they have a chance to get the team fight on their side, but they need to make sure that silence doesn't happen. Oh, Dream Coil, Equal, might be in some trouble. Silence up as well, does hex up, Johnson still can't tether, can't hook themselves away, still gets tethered. Telekinesis, Tornado is there. Whatafaka TPs himself out. In the end, it's only a Timbersaw that dies. Was a bit of
God, look at the damage.
Yeah.
The damage on Bristleback is insane.
He is starting to be quite the carry.
Yep. But still, I still don't feel that the later this game goes that it's going to be in Poseidon's favor. They can still come back by all means, but extra 210 damage from your ultimate is kind of insane on Bristleback, though.
It is. It is. Whatafaka is having a Lifestealer inside of him. The Age Depression also trying to scout people out. Oh, hello, KZI. And I'd say bye, KZI. Brilliant snipe. Good positioning. That ultimate from Reeves. Insane. I would actually like to see how much damage it does. Just, when nobody hits the Venomancer or the Lich. Like Lich only has 777 health. And that's going to be causing him some problem. Of course, the Aghanims gives Venomancer a bit of an extra boost there, so that helps him out. But if Lich is hit by just the AOL, nothing else, I wonder how much life he'll be left with in the end. Shouldn't be too much.
Yeah, it's really not. Age is going to be reclaimed in 3 minutes, so expect NEXT.kz to try and maybe force some sort of push during that time, if they still have the Aegis. Like, it's very, very, very possible that Poseidon may go for some sort of smoke gank and grab Storm Spirit, but probably when you have like a minute and a half left on your Aegis, it's probably a good opportunity for you to start poking at Poseidon and seeing if you can take some of these tier 2, because all 3 of them are still up, and that's a large amount of gold that NEXT.kz can get themselves just that much closer to their next items. For example, Whatafaka is going to pick up Sheep. Lifestealer still has a full Abyssal that he can build into. Even Visage could really benefit from another 900 gold, and he'll have Aghanims. And that's even more burst physical damage that you can lay down on on a Puck or a Necrophos.
Yeah, more disables as well. Both teams kind of lack those, apart from the side of the Vices coming out of the teams now. But those disables, those familiar stunts, they can't be underestimated. I think if there's a good team fight for them and they can get themselves a couple of double stuns, perhaps even triple stuns if they're lucky, then I mean that will make all the difference. No spam from the Death Pulse coming out from the Necrophos. And it looks like we're gonna have a fight on our hands. NEXT.kz indeed wants to make a fight happen before that Aegis disappears. They jump themselves onto the Venomancer once again. That should be KSI dead, but in comes the rest. A-ult will still fly in. Ilden getting hexed up, killed up before he can do anything. Now Lich will be the next target. Buyback from the Necrophos. Wants to be there in the fight. Dream Coil comes up. Nicely done. 3-man Dream Coil, 4-man Dream Coil, no problem. But with the buyback of the Necrophos, all they really achieve is that NEXT.kz is not going to push into a tier 2 tower. And I think that buyback alone was worth the smoke up and worth the... well, not using the Aegis, I guess, and they could actually still decide to go in, even though Storm is completely out of mana.
Yeah, he'll probably just suicide to a tower if necessary. He's got 1 minute left, so that'd be really, really nice if he could die right now and be up full mana. But again, I love it when teams do exactly what I want them to. NEXT.kz, they take a tier 2. I'm not really sure about pushing up into the base, but they do still have that Aegis, so if they want to kind of suicide that in order to pick up a small kill, they may be able to achieve racks here.
Yeah, I mean, if Poseidon take a fight right now and they lose it, they'll lose way more than just this lane of racks. And do they really want to fight without their Venomancer, who has that big ultimate with the Aghanims and the Veil of Discord? I mean, they back off now because they got what they came for and even something more. I mean, I don't think they were expecting to get a tier 3 tower perhaps out of that, or perhaps they did, but tier 3 tower definitely good to have. But NEXT.kz, they have the control of this game, and hereby shown also that they have control over themselves with not overextending, playing it carefully. Don't want to be too trigger happy on those fights just yet.
Yeah, and who needs well, I forgot. I completely forgot that when Aegis goes down,
you get your health back. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. So there's no need to suicide. So that's my bad. That's something that we don't really talk about a whole lot, but wow! Oh no! What a fucking gets picked off right after the Aegis goes down. Really smart rotation. Poseidon knew exactly the timing on that and gets a perfect gank that may put them in a good position and maybe take a tier 2 of their own at top. At the very least, force Storm Spirit to buy back.
Yeah, Storm Spirit is dead for a very long time because I believe the last time he died, he did end up buying back for that fight. So we'll see if they make something happen. They do rotate back bottom. As a Puck, at least he can phase shift some of the damage from that ult off. But that's a long debuff that Jotun will be taking, but he'll be okay. He's probably gonna be one of the best people to have it on him if you're on the side of Poseidon, that is. Still curious to see how much it will do on the Lich, though. It will be very scary. But we'll find out. Of course, also Age Separation is still only level 15, so one more level and he'll have his level 3 ultimate. But until then, it will not be as potent as it could be. Looks like we'll have to wait for a little while longer to know when Roshan will be up exactly. And I think that's going to be the next fight that we'll see. Until then, I'm not sure if either team will consider themselves ahead enough to try and take a big team fight. Unless they get kills thrown in their faces because someone overextends or someone is just pushing out a lane way too far and just plays stupid.
You know, I'm kind of sad that Poseidon didn't go tier 2 at top and try and force Storm Spirit to buy back, because I have yet to see the vicious cycle. Because Storm Spirit, he had bought back earlier, which is, you mentioned that, like 100-second death timer there. I've yet to see that vicious cycle that if you die like every 6 minutes and keep buying back, your death timer just gets longer and longer and longer, right? I've yet to see that happen. I was kind of hoping for it, but Roche is going to be up soon.
That would be interesting and scary at the same time, and also slightly sad. But yeah, it didn't happen. Of course, the Bloodstone will help with that. If he actually ever decides to build that one still. We have a Lincoln someone's up on the Storm though. That's going to be his item. He doesn't want to get Reaper Scythe anymore. It's just too annoying coming off from the Necrophos. But there's plenty of things on the Necrophos that can actually... Well, I say plenty. There's 2 things that he can do to make sure that, you know, that Reaper Scythe is still going to go there. He can try to Hex. He can try to Force Staff, which is probably one of the better things that he can do. Try to Force Staff the Storm, knowing that the linkage will get popped off. And on top of that, solo, of course, his Nasal Goo, he can just spam that out and Lincolns will be down all the time.
Yeah, I mean, what you said is that there are a lot of ways to be able to pop that link in. So I was expecting a Scythe of Ice, but it's still not a bad item. I mean, you've got that instant initiation from Puck that is so deadly, especially since he does have Scythe of Ice. But again, all it takes is Poseidon to basically outplay that. Even Puck with the instant initiation, it's an extra quarter of a second for you to be able to put Yules first and then Scythe of Ice. So, you know, it's a good item, I think, but I was expecting Scythe of Ice just because it's the more reliable one. Here, Poseidon could outplay that Linken's fairly easily on a lot of their heroes, but...
I think so too. We're gonna have Roshan up in a couple of seconds, by the way. It just took 1 minute and a bit for that Roshan to respawn. Looks like NEXT.kz is setting up for a gank. Well, they don't know exactly when that Roshan is respawning, but if they do get a fight and they win that fight, they're gonna be able to take the Roshan off the back of it and perhaps not even go for Roshan. Oh, BKB turned on solo. Is gonna be going for equal first. Illidan gonna be dead already. Maybe Equal get picked up as well, but he's just able to walk away from the Dream Call because of his first BKB. Amazing and Reeves will both still take a nosedive, but it doesn't matter because the Necrophos is dead, and that's going to be the one to keep up Poseidon all the time. So now they no longer have their backbone, and they're just going to get picked up one by one. Buyback now from Solo. Jordan was able to make it back to base, but this is going to be NEXT.kz at the doorstep of Poseidon. Should be able to take these racks in the mid lane.
Yeah, no surprise that NEXT.kz, when this game goes long enough, again, I think I said like 50 minutes, it's 47 minutes in, they're able to take a Rax, they have complete control of this game, and Poseidon, like, I really don't see them coming back from this. They just, I don't think they really put pressure when they should have.
But with that Necrophos being, like, if that Necrophos stayed alive, the whole game would have been so different, but because NEXT.kz know exactly what that Necrophos means, at the moment that he is picked off, Poseidon is just crippled because he just needs to be in their lineup. He needs to be around to keep everybody up, to make the fight long and drawn out so that the Venomancer can do his work with his ultimate, so that Lich can actually stay alive a bit longer and be able to throw out some extra armors and of course have his Chain Frost help out. And they just need long fights also for that Bristleback to continuously quill spray and just ramp up his damage, ramp up the quill damage as well, and they're just not getting there. We know what kind of fight they need, but NEXT.kz knows that too, and they're just denying it time and time again to Poseidon.
Yeah. Yeah, if they were going to push this late game, they needed to have BKB, and they needed to have BKB, they needed to be able to have either Heart or Shivas, depending on his preferability, and Aghanims. This is the one good time where you can actually really abuse Aghanims. It's this late that if he's able to pick it up, there's potential for a good turnaround, because if you get the right pick off, you can actually go 5-man mid and force a 4v5 with no chance of a buyback. But unfortunately, they just didn't have the farm on Necrolite in order to do this. They just could not push this late. They're still going to be able to pick up Aghanims here real shortly. Hopefully before NEXT.kz goes for the next set of racks. In fact, that's what Illidan's working on right now. But it's going to be really, really close. And even once he does have that, it's not an assured team fight.
No, not at all. I mean, definitely not with NEXT.kz, with having an Aegis, having a Cheese, just marching onto the bottom lane. They've already taken one lane of Rax, and they're looking for another. They're just hoping for Poseidon to either make a mistake, or perhaps just TP back too slowly. And now maybe with the Gale on cooldown they can make a move, but... yeah, we have to wait for people to jump in. At least the Abyssal is here. Mantis can jump himself in, what the fuck, and the TP actually goes top. They want to maybe try to pick off Illidan before anything else happens. Illidan has to be careful. He might be too late, though. What the fucker jumps after him. The force staff, it's not enough, though. It is not. The Lincolns gets popped because the Scythe of Ice was attempted to get used. It is a what the fucker that takes the kill as Mantis is held in place by the Reaper Scythe. But now without Illidan, even though what the fuck is completely out of mana, they can just rotate bottom and try to make something happen, I think. Even though right now NEXT.kz is actually rotating away from bottom lane.
Yeah, it looks like they may meet their carries at top and take that tier 2 and go from there.
So far so good. Indeed, everybody making the same movement, going towards that tier 2. The creep wave is still fairly far away, but when it gets here, it's a very large creep wave. Might not be any siege creeps in it, which is a pretty big deal, I actually think, but still a lot of creeps to help out with the push, and I mean, who needs creeps actually? Let's just backdoor towers because
Radiant's
it
top
works
tower
as well.
has fallen.
No creeps needed here. NEXT.kz, they'll take this big creep infill, and I think they're just gonna go high ground. 26 seconds until that Necrophos is back.
Yeah, Venomancer, great initiation.
Yeah, his BKB was there, but it didn't matter whatsoever. Dominating Mantis, dominating Motherfucker, Solo being forced to BKB and run his way back to base. But this is already a bot back Venomancer that can't really do anything else anymore. Solo can't really do that much apart from getting Abyssal. Still able to take the Aegis away from Motherfucker, but I think he's only going to be happy with that as they pick up Venomancer for the second time. Now go for Solo, who couldn't jump to his orb on the right side of the throne. That is Puck dead. Puck buying back though. But there's only 2 heroes left alive on the side of Poseidon, and it's gonna be one soon because Illidan dead right inside his base. Triple kill for Motherfucker.
Radiant's top tower is under
In the meantime, I mean, the tier 3 tower is still standing, but the supports who are very low on life. This is the poison over from the Venomancer, by the way, doing work. But they're still gonna be able to help with the push as oh, Motherfucker actually still gets picked off there. Storm Spirit's unstoppable streak equal. Timber chases himself away, but Mantis as well as Amazing and Reeves are able to take down the Rex. Timbersaw goes down for it, but instant punishment comes. And that's gonna be everybody dead for a very long time on the side of Poseidon, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the GG call come out.
Yep, I mean, even Necrolite falling in the back due to the AAL, taking it away. But this really just comes down to really, really good drafting by NEXT.kz, and again, I think a failure to execute for Poseidon. I think maybe this may be one of the first times they've tried this draft. I think this strategy is really, really powerful. The Bristleback Necrolite combo is really, really strong. Just the problem is I felt they just didn't execute right in the mid game. I think they had to go. You can either choose late or mid game, and looking at NEXT.kz, they couldn't go late up against that team, and I think they just needed to go a bit more all in the mid game with that mech. But still, it was a really interesting strat to watch from Poseidon, and you can definitely see the potential there. I mean,
yeah.
they did really well early game. If they'd just been able to execute a little bit better in the mid game, they could have ended this game pretty quickly, and it would have been pretty one-sided, I feel.
I agree. I totally agree. Just a too long fight with not a BKB on Necrophos kinda hurt them a bit in the end. But this was the second game. Second game also taken by a head, by the way. Sorry if I just spoiled things. But we are going to jump ourselves to the third game of tonight. It's the 3rd out of 5 games that we're seeing tonight. It's all best at once. Next one is going to be Empire versus Super Strong Dinosaur. So stick around. We are slightly behind schedule, so we will jump ourselves into the game as fast as we can. But don't go anywhere because there will be more Dota coming your way right here for StarLadder Season 8.